Artificial intelligence, AI. This is one of the most common words you will hear in our own generation now. This piece of technology has really changed almost all the industries. Today, we're going to be having a conversation with the founder of Realesta. Realesta is an AI platform that has been helping investors, changing the landscape for real estate people, real estate professionals, agents, homeowners, and investors. I'm really excited about the conversation. We're going to dig in and know more about this platform, why is it necessary in our industry, and how it can help you, either you're a homeowner, an agent, or an investor. Let's get into the conversation together. Vish, thank you so much for coming to my podcast. I know when I first heard about your platform, or when I first knew about you and about the AI platform that you have, first I was really interested in knowing more because one, I work in IT before, and two, you created a platform for my industry now, real estate industry. So you kind of have two things, two of my words all together, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to speak to this guy. I'm going to bring him onto to the podcast. I need to let my audience and people to know more about this platform because for me, I strongly believe artificial intelligence is going to continue to change our life, and people can call it different names or robot or anything. It's been here for long. It is just now that the effect is reaching all industries. So before we really jump into the conversation and start having a lot of conversation about this platform, about you yourself, I want to first let my audience know who I'm speaking with. Just introduce yourself and let them know who you are.
Sounds great. First of all, thank you so much, Aziz. I'm honored to be on your podcast. I remember that we met at investing in U.S. seminar
Yes.
that a good friend of ours,
Manny,
and
yes.
and you organized, and that's where we actually spoke about Realesta, our platform.
Yes.
And you talked about this podcast. So again, I'm very thankful to you for inviting me to the podcast.
Thank you so much for coming.
My pleasure. And to the audience, I'm Vish Walia, and I would say that I've been in technology for 18 years, like if I have to date myself.
Wow, that's close to 2 decades.
That's 2 decades, or close to 2 decades, and I've been into different roles. But what have always excited me about technology is that how it enables organizations, employees, and individuals. Like technology to me is that enabler that help us to achieve more and be productive, and that's what I'm doing in my technology job. But a moment in my life came around 2016 when I got impacted, about my role change or my role eliminated. And at that point, I said that no job is permanent.
No,
Right. So to all, work professionals, executives, IT professionals, any professional out there, they should know that, when you get hired, you can also get fired. So keep that in mind. But when I got eliminated or my role got eliminated, I was looking at options for passive income, second income, and I stumbled upon real estate investing. And that's where I actually started my real estate journey.
Okay.
So I am very proud to say that I'm a technology executive who has been investing in real estate for like 8 years now.
Wow.
And then after a while, I said, you know what? There has to be better solution, better system for investors who are, thinking of investing or who have been investing for a while. But I found no platform that would empower investors, in their real estate journey.
Yes.
So that realization inspired me to create a platform for investors and home buyers, and that's how I actually developed an AI platform for investors and home buyers.
That's one thing that is common between all the founders that I've known, people that have created something. There's always story. When I was young, I always think they come up with these stories like, they just have to tell us something. However, I realized that it is not so. Most of the good technology we have today, they see a problem, they find solution. They look for that solution. And I think the reason why you are able to come into real estate and realize that something is missing is because you know the impact of technology. You know how helpful it is for businesses. You work in that industry. You know that if you have something that can streamline something, that can take away a little bit of stress and challenge, you'll be more productive. And I think that might be why the idea of you creating solution come from? Do you agree with that? Do you think because you work in that industry, you know the impact of technology? That's why when you came into real estate, you're like, I need to create a platform that will help investors.
100% disease, like, because I've been into this space for a long time. I understand that how this industry works. And, as I said, my mission has been to help organizations, our customers, to achieve more, be more productive, and also eliminate those, manual processes and digitize those. So when I was into investing, I've been investing for a while. It's not that, one day, a light bulb went on and I said, okay, let's have an AI solution. It is a work of, a lot of years, a lot of analysis, paralysis, and then you start to find out, okay, out of all the 10 challenges that investors face, which are the top 2 or 3 challenges that would really help or impact their journey.
Yes.
So what I did actually when I was creating or thinking of creating a system, I was actually interviewed 150 to 160 investors and asked them their top challenges.
Oh, okay.
And that
I
actually
like
gave me, the sum total of, that what should I be developing.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what, I did. So to your point, I brought a lot of experience of my IT background in not just building this platform, but also even ideating it, designing it, developing it, and even launching it. And even now, like, when we have launched it, 20 days ago,
okay, wow.
My baby is only 20 days old. I'm still very open to, feedback
And improve it, right?
Improve it, right? So that's the journey, and it is helping me because I've been into IT and I'm also into investing.
Okay, when you get into real estate, as I said in my last question, is because you came from that industry, IT, you joined the real estate, like as an investor, you realize there's problem. Can you mention some of the main problems that you see that make you feel like this industry needs technology? What are the problem you saw there?
Absolutely. I think you asked, one of the key fundamentals that why we developed Realesta. So now if I can share with you that as investors,
okay,
the first thing that, we want is knowledge and education.
Yes.
And if you look around, there are a lot of educational courses around. Like, it's not that there's any dearth of, educational courses, programs, but they're pretty expensive. Like, they can go from $10,000 to $50,000.
Yes.
Right? So somebody is trying to, move into this space and they have to right away spend so much money. Yeah. I'm not saying there's no value to it. There is value to it.
Of course.
But at the end of the day, you get a lot of theoretical information. Now, myself, and people around me have taken a lot of courses. But the biggest struggle, and I'm repeating myself, the biggest struggle that investors face is taking that next step.
Okay.
Right? So I've done courses. I've learned about how to buy a house. I've learned how to do, like a buy and hold strategy
or
flipping. But now the challenge is, what's next? How should I do that?
Where will I find the properties?
Where would I find a property? Right? So you as a coach or an educational, a person can tell me that, the best way to make money is to buy an off-market property.
Yes.
But where to find one?
The off-market, yeah.
Right? So what I did was that what are those areas that need execution? That is first and foremost is finding a profitable property.
Yes.
Could be off-market, could be exclusive, could be assignment sale, or could be a wholesale sale. Mm-hmm. And then do evaluations. Like, I found a property, where should I do evaluations on ROI, cash flow, rental? And then once I figure that out, who should I be working with? Who should be my realtor? Like, I am an investor, so I want to work with investor-friendly realtor.
Real estate agents,
right?
Yes.
But if I am looking for a property out of town and out of province, how can I connect with that realtor? So again, coming back to what you asked, finding deals, doing evaluations, and connecting with the right service provider. That's the biggest gap that we have in our industry as, into real estate investing. And that's what we did with Realesta.
Okay.
So think of a Realesta as an execution platform where you can go find properties, do evaluations, and connect with service providers.
Because I was about to ask you a question. A lot of my, colleague in the industry, Probably because I come from IT, I've never been scared of AI. I never thought AI would take our job. I think anyone that think AI will take our job, they don't know the value of technology. Technology is there to help us. The only people that will take your job are the people that knows how to use that technology for their own benefit, for their own business, and improve whatever they are providing. If you are working and you think, oh, AI is going to take my job, because I said this because I know realtors that they don't like to have conversation around AI or technology. When I tell them that, oh, there's one technology that does this, do you know about that? They're like, oh, when people start using that, they don't use agent. But you mentioned something now. This is a platform where you can even connect them with agent. You didn't take out the job of the agent, right? You are saying, hey, you can find property, you can analyze it. It does not mean you don't need a real estate agent. You do need a real estate agent. Now, this platform is also good for you to meet that kind of real estate agent. So, from your own perspective, when you hear people that say technology, AI is going to take all our jobs, do you agree with that?
No, I don't agree to that at all. And let me tell you, like, what is my vision of, having these kind of AI solutions? So, these solutions are built to help us. As I said earlier, these are the enablers for individuals, for companies, right? So the goal is not to take individual away. The goal is to make individual more productive,
Productive, yeah.
so that we can take off those trivial activities,
yes.
those redundant activities out from your day in life,
And even create transparency between all the parties
all the
involved,
parties,
right?
right? So I've seen a lot of my competitors kind of talk about taking realtors out of the picture. Now, somebody who values what realtors bring to the table.
Yes.
I very much wanted them to be part of Realesta. One, because they are the specialists who's going to close these properties, right? They're going to close the transaction. But more than that, I wanted them to connect with good qualified buyer. Now, what I've learned, about your industry is that realtors spend a lot of time, a lot of money on marketing,
Yes.
to get qualified buyers, and it's a hit and miss, right? But what we have tried to do with Realesta is our mission is to empower investors and home buyers with education, with knowledge, with these calculators, and with all these different kind of properties, so they are well qualified before even they connect with a realtor, so that it's a high quality interaction
Yes.
and engagement,
Exactly.
rather than just a realtor wasting his time on calling somebody who's not interested to buy.
To buy, yeah. And I like the way you really put that out there, the way you describe it. It's even giving me more, I would say, more confident about the platform, because for me, I think when you have a place where you can do a lot of where you're going to be doing in different platforms, but you have everything centralized somewhere that you can do it, and you can still feel that transparency. You can have the access to quality buyers or even sellers, or someone that will make the whole process easier. I think I like that idea. But you've been building this for probably going to a year now, and you launched it 20 days ago. What would you say, this platform, is it meant for anyone, or I have to be an investor before I will find value in it? Because people listening to us now, a lot of my audience are, majority of them are, of course, real estate investors or people that are trying to be an investor. But there are some, first-time home buyers that they just want to buy a home, that they don't even understand the difference between investment property and just a primary home yet. Is this platform for this kind of people as well?
Yeah. So let me step back and kind of give you a little bit why I did what I did.
Okay.
Right. I came to Canada in 2005.
Okay.
And as an immigrant, and I want to emphasize that it's one of the beautiful countries in the world, not just about the beauty and all the things that it has, but also the opportunities that it offers you.
Okay.
Right. And the biggest dream one has in this country is to own a home.
Yes.
And I still remember when I bought my first home, I had to go through some, hiccups, some challenges, just because I didn't know a lot about buying a house.
Yes.
And then when I also, talk about real estate investing, again, I had to go through, certain set of challenges. Wish I would have known more, than I did. So my mission is to empower 1 million people
Okay.
to
That's
either buy
great.
a home or to buy the investment property
property.
through Realesta. And because I have gone through that challenge myself, I don't want anyone else to go through
Go
that.
through that challenge.
And that's why I developed Realesta. Now, coming back to your question about who this is for, this is for anyone and everyone. Even if you can't buy a house today, I want you to start manifesting that you can own a house.
That's
and you can
important.
start learning about what you need to buy a house. What are the requirements that you need to have in terms of tax benefits, tax requirements, savings, and all that. So we do have a special interface for first home buyers, where we actually provide them with all the information about how to buy your first home, all the tax rebates, all the programs, all the checklists. And then we have calculators specifically designed for first home buyers.
Wow.
We have something called affordability calculator that you can put your income, expenses, and then it only provides you properties that you can afford. So that's the first thing. We have something called mortgage calculator, where you can actually play with our chatbot, because we took some inspiration from ChatGPT. So you have ChatGPT like feature within the platform, where you can actually talk to a chatbot and say, you know what, this is my income, this is the kind of house I'm looking for.
How much can I qualify
for?
That's really amazing.
Right?
I like that.
And then we have closing cost calculator, because that's important, right? One is the down payment that you're going to be saving for, but then it's a substantial fee that when it comes to closing calculator. So we have specifics for first home buyers. Same thing we have for first investors and also experienced investors. So I would say that think of this as your a digital ally who can provide you knowledge, who can provide you listings, and who can also connect you with the right service providers that you need when you need.
That's really amazing. Let me switch a little bit, because either you like it or not, you're now a business owner. I don't know if you own any other business before starting Realesta, but even if you don't, this is a business. This is something you're building. As a business owner, what are the things when you're starting to build? What are the challenges you face in doing this thing? Because I know from someone coming from IT, I know even if I'm building a small project for the company I was working with, I know how challenging it is. What are the challenges you face when you're building this and now seeing it as a business? What are the things you just tell me the process of what you're going through as a business owner, IT business owner?
That's a great question. And this is out to all my friends who are in to 9-to-5 job and kind of thinking or contemplating that should I switch to a full-time entrepreneurship?
Should I own a business? Should I become a business owner? Right?
I think what helped me, and I'll be very transparent with you. Like when I was starting to build this platform, a thought came to my mind that shall I even bother about this thing? Because I had a very stable job, and it was giving me decent income, and that the other part was pretty unknown to me. Like I've never been an entrepreneur, and all I had was just an idea, that I can create a platform, right? But having a business was totally different concept for me. But what actually helped me, move from an employee to entrepreneur was first the mindset, but even bigger than that was, the cause that I was kind of, driving for.
Yeah.
Right?
That. I think that's the most important thing for anyone that is
exactly right. So
there should
for
be
me,
a goal. There should be a why.
Yes. So my why is, as I said, empower 1 million people,
Yes.
To help either buy their first home or start investing. And I think that was it. That was the driving force behind my decision.
Okay.
Now, in terms of challenges, I heard somewhere that when you are in chaos, you are in the growth stage. So I see that every day. Like every day I'm in chaos because, I'm starting my business.
Exactly.
I have to do sales. I have to do
become
marketing.
more creative.
You do more creative, right?
Yes.
And that's how you actually grow. Because at the end of the day, I think, your job, on this planet is not just to, talk about business, revenue, and profit. It is also there to help people and to tell people, what I'm doing is not a rocket science. It's not extraordinary. It is as simple as anything, you can do that too. So that's also kind of, my driving force that, if I can do that, you can do that.
Yeah, exactly.
So these things kind of, help me to, address the challenges that I face.
Okay. I know we met at the US investing event, and I wanted to ask you a question, but you kind of answered that question at that event. But now I will still want to kind of add a follow-up question.
Sure.
This platform, you're in Canada, you're a Canadian here building a very powerful AI tool that will help anyone involved in the real estate process. Will this same platform work in the US? Will it work in other countries? Like for me, last year I went to Costa Rica with my family, and I genuinely love real estate in Costa Rica as well. There's a lot of reason why that country was so like become interesting to me about real estate, because when I went out on the street for the whole 10, 11 days that we spent there, I think I met close to 100 people, and about 70 of them are Canadian and American. So it means Canadians, Americans are investing there. Now, out of those 70 people that I see as Canadian and American, about 50 of them own real estate in Costa Rica. So it's definitely a place to look for an investment property. If you want to own something there, maybe you want to, our country is, we know it's a cold country. You might want to leave Canada in December to February, somewhere not far, but still warm. These are the countries a lot of people that I spoke to, those are the things they're saying. So Dubai is there. I lived in Dubai for 7 years. Real estate in Dubai is amazing right now as well. I have a lot of my connection there as well that are in real estate. Will this platform be a source of data points, getting investment property for all real estate investors over the world, that they can go there and get access to property in those countries as well? Or right now it's only for Canada?
I want to tell the audience that, I love this question, and I have not given this question to Aziz before. Aziz, I want to give you an answer that you will just love.
Okay.
I'll start with the US, and again to the audience also, that I had thought that we will add US properties on my platform in January.
Okay.
But a good friend of mine, as we talked about, Manny,
yeah,
asked me that, hey, we're doing a seminar for investing in the US. Oh, can you come and present Realesta? And is there any possibility, can you show us properties in the US? And I tasked my team to get me live properties of Ohio.
Okay.
And I'm happy to share that for that seminar, we were able to showcase US properties in Cincinnati and
Wow.
Cleveland on our platform.
Wow.
So we are actually working 24/7 that by early 2025, that we will cover some of the top 2 or 3 investor-friendly states,
Okay.
and we will have the properties of those states on our platform.
Okay.
But
That's
how this
amazing.
will be a game changer, let me tell you that. Now, we know that investing in US is one of the hot topics for Canadians right now.
It is.
And there are reasons behind that, because we have, some great properties. The purchase price point is pretty affordable. ROI is great. Rental market is stable. And these all states, or most of these states that we're talking about, are investor-friendly states.
Yes.
So there are reasons for Canadians to go to
go
US,
there because
right?
we want something affordable and want to own real estate.
Exactly, right? Now, we as Canadians don't know the process. That's why we're having a lot of educational courses.
Yes.
But remember what I told you about Realesta. Realesta is the execution platform
yeah.
where any investor in Canada can find properties in the US,
Okay.
off market, on market, wholesale deals. Then they can do all the calculations that they want, be it ROI, rental estimate, cash flow. And then from there onwards, and hear me out, from there onwards, they can connect with a realtor, mortgage expert, accountant, lawyer. Because buying in US is not as straightforward or as similar to
Canadian
in
process,
Canadian,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
They have to have an account first. They have to have an ITN number. Then they have to
Okay.
have incorporation.
That's
and
true.
then comes the realtor. So with Realesta, they will be able to connect with the vetted professionals that we are actually vetting now.
Wow. That's really amazing.
Now, the second part of your question is even more interesting. I was at Canadian International Property Show yesterday.
Just yesterday.
There was an international property show in Mississauga,
Okay.
where we had investment projects from Caribbean, we had from Dominican Republic, Mexico, Bahamas, Costa Rica,
Wow.
Dubai, and Spain. And I spoke with all of those builders, realtors, and I'm actually have meetings with them today.
Wow.
How we can bring those investment
So
projects
property into
on
the plat-
Realesta,
Oh my God.
so that whoever is interested to buy outside North America, right? Because as Canadians, as North Americans, our limit is only in these areas and these countries.
Yes.
But now with this platform, we will be able to bring those projects, do seminars, workshops, webinars to educate people on what kind of opportunity they are missing on.
Wow.
And so we can connect them with the right professionals if they plan to invest in any of those countries that I mentioned.
I'm glad that I asked that
I
question.
know.
By the
I
way,
said I didn't pay you for that.
because I never knew you were kind of building on
On something like
expanding
this.
outside of US. I
Yes.
know you've touched on US before, but I'm like, I think you talk about one state, but now your team is working on making sure it's available. Now, this conversation you're going to have with these other countries, I think is going to be another great opportunities for Canadian. Because for someone like me and a lot of people in my network, a lot of my investors, anywhere that makes sense in real estate, obviously that is also secure, there's no war. Anywhere that is, makes sense in terms of real estate is where people want to go.
Absolutely. And I found a lot of things, right? So to your point, like, you asked about Dubai. I had a meeting with some Dubai builders, just yesterday where you must be aware, like, you can get golden visa. Like if you are an investor, there are a
Yes.
couple of perks that you get. You get in some countries, they offer you golden visa for residency.
Yes.
You don't have to lose your Canadian citizenship, but now you have like residency from another country.
Yes.
Tax benefits. I pay taxes. I like it or dislike. That's another conversation. But then there are countries out there that don't charge any tax.
Any tax, yeah.
Right.
I know Dubai don't. They don't
Right,
charge on
Dubai
income,
doesn't
yeah.
charge. And look at the capital gain that we pay when we make profit. So that's another thing. But the ROI economy of those countries is pretty, equivalent.
If
to
not,
what-
if not stronger than you can.
strong,
I
in
mean,
some cases, stronger than what we
I
have.
live in Dubai for 7 years. A lot of
Right.
people might have their own
Right.
thought about it. I think it's one of the most safest country in the world. I think people think, oh, it's not safe for women or anything. If you know any woman in Dubai, ask them. It's one of the most safest places. I mean, I know the bone of this conversation is not to talk about how good Dubai is. I love my country. I love Canada. But the truth is, these countries that we have some misconception about, then that's why some of the people don't invest there. Because when I was in Costa Rica, I met an investor that, when we were having conversation, he was staying in the same kind of condo that I was living. And we talked about Dubai, and he was like, oh, I don't want to go. They said it's not safe.
So
So that misconception was there. And I'm like, do you know, he said, I want to buy real estate there, but they said it's not safe.
yes, and
You know.
that's what I want to emphasize. The humble mission that we have is to empower people, and that comes with education.
Education, yes.
Right? And so that we want to bring that to people, like, to these investors who have no clue about investing outside North America.
Yes.
So Realesta is your go-to platform where you can, learn, you can get education, and you can empower yourself about these opportunities that were not there.
Yes.
And you didn't know about them. And with this
With
platform,
real
we'll be
estate,
able to provide you that.
You can have that access, which is really good. Let me switch a little bit to something personal. And I noticed that when I first heard about you or watched some of your ad in Expand, I saw your kids, doing a lot of things with the business and making some skit and comic, content. What's their impact on the business? Are they part of the business? Are they building the real estate with you? Tell me how, your family, how important are they for you with this business? What's happening in that side?
Yeah, I am so glad to share with you and also with the audience that, I'm a very proud father and also, a very happy husband. My wife, what you see here is, the front face of the business, right?
Yes.
But the real power behind this business is my wife
That's it.
and my children. That's our why, right? Why I want to do this, because I want them, to do bigger things than what
you.
I am doing, right?
Exactly.
Again, as I said, my mission, because I learned this from my father. My father was, again, he was an educational executive, back home in India. But his passion always lied in serving people. And he actually, after he retired from his government job, he
Okay.
became a social worker to help needy people and things like that. And though I was busy with my education, that thought always stayed with me that why he's doing this, right? Like, and now when I have my own family and I have my children,
Then
and
you understand now.
I understand that the bigger cause in life is not just about to have a job or have a business, right? It is to also help people, inspire people.
Yes.
And that's what I actually want my legacy to be, and that's what I'm actually teaching my children now. I remember, like, when I used to go out to these showings, as you may know, as realtor and as investor, my kids were always kind of fascinated with this, how to buy a property, how to sell a property. And I think I kind of got that and started to teach them about it.
About it. That's amazing.
And then 2 years ago, I started doing my own videos, and they said, "Dad, how can we also do videos in real estate?"
Real estate.
And they actually started to do videos under the name of Real Estate Detectives.
That's
So
amazing.
where they will come up with just a puzzle or a question, and they, again, I have a son and daughter. Shiraz, my son; Samara is my daughter. So they would both become real estate detectives, and they will come up with some kind of a puzzle that they would ask me to solve, and that will be the case that they solve that day. Could be what is real estate investing? Why should people
Do
do
it.
real estate investing? What is the difference between active and passive investors? Things like that. And now with Realesta, like I would say, like a day is not far away. Then they're gonna take over the marketing side, because though they're 10 and 11, but they go to me at all the conferences that we are.
Yes.
They go to all the meetups and they talk to people, strangers also sometimes, about Realesta, and tell them that why should they use Realesta.
I like that. You obviously meet my wife. She's at the back of the camera making everything work. We are lucky when we have partner that believe in our goal.
Actually, yes.
And I always tell everyone that I've met, I've always tell them that without my wife, without my family, I don't think I'll have a business. Not because, obviously I love them, but I know the kind of effort they put into the business behind the scene that people don't see, right? We are here now, people are seeing me in front of camera, someone is at the back making sure it's working, and that's my wife. And my son have been on this podcast with me as well many times. In fact, I told you at the beginning of our conversation, I have a small podcast that I recorded within 10, 15 minutes. We're going to keep that video for a couple of years before we release that. So I asked that question because, I always want to learn from business owner, especially those that have family, because I know how tough a challenge it could be to kind of merge these two important part of our life. And that's why I asked that question.
I'll answer two more points on that. Like, first is, we actually did a video where we actually talked about a family that invests together stays together.
That's true.
So,
that's actually true.
Right. One thing I've learned that real estate has brought us as a family closer together. Like, we go out to walkthroughs together, like weekend, me, my wife, both children, and we make it a fun day. It is not all about work, right? Like, first 3 hours we just walk some properties, and then we go for lunch, and we go some other work.
Exactly.
But the second thing I want to say that you may see as these two gentlemen kind of talking all the good things about life, but I see how Aziz's wife is kind of behind the scenes, and I was telling her that she's the real power. Like, if they're not there, we're not here.
We're not.
Right?
We're not.
So I really want to say thanks to your wife and my wife and all other wives of our friends and families that who actually help us day in, day out to make us look good, to make us do better and better.
I think I like that, the way you close it. Thank you to everyone. Thank you. I want you to, I know we are about to round up the podcast. I want you to leave my audience, whatever they are today, investors already, or they're about to become an investor, I want you to leave them with something that could probably help their journey, either related to real estate or even related to just your knowledge in the real estate world. Because I always want anyone that come here to kind of have a closing message for my people listening to this podcast, especially around real estate, around business. It could be how you think they could structure things to get better in what they are trying to pursue. What would be a closing note for my audience from you?
One thing I would encourage and inspire all of you to do is that never be satisfied where you are. You are when you are in your comfort zone, you're not growing.
That's it.
And as
That's
individuals,
actually
I
true.
want all of you to challenge yourself to grow and get out of that comfort zone. Now, as investors, I would encourage you that, no matter if you have your full-time jobs or full-time businesses, always do that. But keep in mind that no job is permanent. Don't rely on any job. Like, this is coming from somebody who's worked 2 decades in an organization. So always find out opportunities
In other
to
places. Yeah.
invest.
Yes.
Start with investing in yourself and then investing in a business that makes money.
That's important.
Right?
Invest in yourself first.
Right? And we have developed this tool. Like, I've been customer zero of Realesta. I have seen the challenges. I've gone through that, and I don't want anyone else to go those challenges. So we have developed this tool, Realesta, for you guys to learn, to educate yourself, and empower yourself to become a first home buyer or an investor. It's free of cost. You can just sign up. You can go to www.realesta. It is REALESTA.ai. You can create your account. You can start learning, educating, and also investing. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vish, for your time today. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I'm very sure my audience will learn a lot of things from this episode. They learn how to own a business, what AI is, the impact of AI in our life, in all industry. And I really appreciate your time today. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank
It's a
you.
great podcast.